All right. Well, welcome to my YouTube channel, Battles and Journeys. And this is pretty new for me. I started this channel almost a year ago, but I didn't do much with it. Some of you recognize me from other stories, or what piqued your interest was my story. But today, I want to talk about a couple of things. This is Battles and Journeys. I will share with you my battles and my journey. Although my last name is Battles, which makes it unique, I've also had battles in my life. And I want to just share some things with you as it pops up in my heart to share with you. Again, I'm very new to YouTube channel, so if you would like to subscribe and to share, I would like to go live on certain cases in certain situations. But you'll get an opportunity to follow my life and follow my journey. Thank you to all of you that are already subscribed to my channel. A lot of you, several of you subscribed. I have not done much with the channel. I've done quite a bit of other lives, but I've not done much with my channel. When I started this channel, I knew I wasn't going to do much with it in the very beginning because I had so many emotions and inner turmoil because I was releasing and exposing parts of me that the world didn't know, it, my family didn't know, and it became very emotional for me. And I went about a way to begin this journey and to expose where I was in life and some of the things that took place in life. And some people took it, ran with it. Some made fun of it. Some of the bloggers, they weren't able to handle the capacity of what I've experienced because they were in this on their own world. But nevertheless, I am here. It has created this space and place for me. Thank you again. Please like and subscribe and share this with friends. I'm going to be talking about a lot of things, just my experience, my battles, and my journeys, and I believe it's going to help a lot of people. When I first came out with my story, I've received a lot of inboxes and people reaching out to me saying, hey, thank you. I know it took a lot of strength for you to talk about it, but it also has given power to our voice to talk about some of the things that are happening to me or has happened to me. Today, it's not about that. I'm going to be journaling and taking you along a journey, taking you along the journey of my life as I progress and get this whole YouTube channel thing down pat. Thank you again for coming. I certainly appreciate it. And I know many of you are going to be helped and propelled to do some of the things that you have been desiring to do in your life. But today I want to talk about something very important. And just in life, I've experienced a whole lot of things, and you'll get a chance to hear some of them. And some of them, a lot of things will be in a book. I am writing a book about my life. So be on the lookout for it. And I want to talk about a couple of things because just in friendships and relationships, sometimes when people violate you or they cross certain lines, they expect for things to go back to its original form, or they expect for things to be just as good as it was before they violated. Whether it's a relationship, whether somebody stepped out of the relationship, the person that was unfaithful expect for the person that they cheated on to just get over it and to move forward. Well, none of us have the power. None of us are in a place to tell people to just get over something. That is not the advice anyone should give. People have to go through their process, and everybody does not heal at the same rapid succession. And we all have our own experiences, and we cannot make people believe that you can just get over it. Once you've been broken, once there has been violations and people have crossed lines. Some lines we've crossed, we can't uncross. We can't go back and uncross it. Some violations, you can't go back and unviolate the person. It is now a part of a person's experience. It's almost like If you have a broken bone, you break a bone, you go to the doctor. Sometimes they have to re-break it and reset it. Depends on the situation. And when that doctor reset that bone, it heals, but it will never ever go back to its original state of being unbroken. It is a broken bone that has been healed, but it would never go back to its original state. And so there are some violations and there are some lines that have been crossed, and it will never, ever, never go back to what it was. You have to enjoy the relationship. You have to enjoy the level of relationship that it's on now. For instance, when somebody cheat, you have to give that person time to heal. They will heal, but you can't expect for them just to move forward and move on. That relationship will change. And I think we struggle. We struggle with in relationships saying, I just want it to be the way that it was, and make it like it was. It's not going to be like it was, because there are lines that have been crossed and bones have been broken. Yes, you can be healed, but it will never go back to its original state of being unbroken. That level of trust has changed. That level of confidence in the relationship has changed. That could be in friendships, love relationships, relationship with leadership in the church. That's a big thing, because sometimes people, the leaders have betrayed your trust, and sometimes not intentionally. They're human. They betrayed your trust, and now you can't trust a leader because of the violations and the lines that was crossed, right? So I think we really mess up by wanting to go back to like it was. You've enjoyed that. That was a place of enjoyment, but now certain violations have taken place and it can't go back. Now you can heal, you can have a different type of relationship, but that line has been crossed. And that's what I really want to talk about. It has become a part of your experience. And sometimes people don't want you to talk about your experience. They say, oh, it is just let's not talk about it, as if it never happened. And you begin to internalize, and you become flustered and frustrated because you're holding all of this in, because people say, don't talk about it. It's just better that you don't talk about it. We were shut down as children when some, not everybody, when you go to your parents to say something and that you need them to hear this, they say, hush, sit down. And so it has caused problems in our adulthood with our level of communication. Excuse me. But because we were shut down as children, now we find ourselves as adults not able to communicate. We shut down because people have always shut us down as children. So now we have a big problem with communication. And it's like that in the church. It's like that on your job. Things happen in the church and they say, well, let's just keep it hush and let's just sweep it under the rug. Let's not talk about it. See, they're doing it for their benefit because they don't want to look bad. Or they say, well, we don't want to bring any shame upon the ministry. Well, look at all the shame that person is carrying that have had the experience of violations and lines being crossed. It doesn't help them. It may seem to help you as a leader in a leadership position, but it doesn't help the person because now they've been shut down and they can't talk about it. For what? People would like to suggest to you to don't talk about it and just get over it. No, it's going to come up again. Just like in my personal life, I was shut down several times. And here it is, 30 years later, it comes back up because I was never able to talk about it. All I'm saying is it is a part of your experience. And I know people don't want you to talk about it. They want to pretend that it never happened, but you're suffering. You are suffering with the pain that you have internalized with what has happened to you, what has happened against you. And it's okay that you did it, previously, but now you have to talk about it. And on top of that, you can forgive people. You can forgive them, but you still have to talk about it. Get a counselor, write a book. You have to talk about your experiences. If not, you'll die with that. And holding things in and internalizing things will kill you. It will cause sickness and disease. And you're wondering where this came from. But you're holding on to things that you should have released. And people, I hate it because people would say, well, it never happened because you don't talk about it. Oh, it happened. Just because you don't talk about it doesn't say it didn't happen. I'm thankful that I was strong enough to come alive and take a deep breath and talk about it, because that is when things begin to open up for me. That's when I begin to feel like I'm breathing again. I'm alive. I can talk about it. I'm not afraid anymore. People will try to project fear to keep you from talking about it. Let me say this. I had someone call me up when I shared my story. I had someone call me up, would never tell any names. They said, you know what? I was scared. I heard your story. We're friends. I heard your story and it scared me because I violated people underage as well. A lot of times people don't want you to talk about it because they are afraid that their victims are going to hear your story and become strong enough to talk about what happened to them. So there are, some of the situations that we've been in, and people have violated and crossed lines, and they want to take it back to where it was. There are relationships I've had with people, places and things and spaces. I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back because it was toxic. The environment was toxic, very toxic. I don't want the relationship that I had with people that has violated me. The church I came from, I don't want that relationship with them because it was a manipulating relationship. It was a very toxic, very, very toxic relationship. It was a controlling relationship. When you're young, adults, you have a tendency to listen to adults, right? And you grow up and you get older and they still see you as that little boy that they remember when you first came into their presence. And they can sort of manipulate and kind of control, but you're seeing it as, okay, these are adults. I don't want to be in disobedience. I don't want the relationship I once had with those people in Florida. I don't. We couldn't have that kind of relationship because I'm a mature adult. And I won't allow people to come at me at a certain angle. And people don't like for you to set them on, people don't like for you to tell them how you feel. They always want you to shut down your feelings so that it can make them feel good and it can, it keeps them from looking bad. Some relationships you don't want again. You don't want it on that level. And some people I can forgive. There are people that I've forgiven, but I don't want to have anything to do with them. I don't want to eat with you. I don't want to talk with you. I've forgiven you. Some will suggest that, oh, well, if you've really forgiven me, then you'll talk to me. You'll reconnect and we can go out and hang out like it was, like it was in times past. I don't want it. I don't have that kind of energy. I don't have that same mentality. I don't want it. And sometimes in relationships, like love relationships, once that relationship is over, you don't want to go back to that. It was toxic. It was manipulated. It was the setting was wrong. Some of you got married for the wrong reasons. The church pushed you into getting married. Your mother, your father, they pushed you into getting married because they said it was the right thing to do. But they didn't have to lay in bed with that person. You see? So for some reason, we as a people, we like for people to lead us. And you have to think for yourself. When you're not thinkers, then other people will think for you and they will control your life. So relationships I don't want to go back to. I don't want it on that level. It was controlling. And then after all of that, we have to seek counseling. Get therapy. Get some type of therapy to help you. There's nothing wrong with getting therapy, with talking to a shrink. Don't go to your pastors, because you'll hear it across the pulpit. They can't handle it. Some of them need counseling. Some of them need to be put on medication. They can't even handle your stuff. They don't have the capacity to deal with your stuff. Go to someone that has a license and not somebody that downloaded it off of internet. Because these pastors and leaders, they get up and talk about your business across the pulpit. And then now you're hurt because you've trusted them. But if you go to a licensed person, if they make that type of violation, it's a violation against their license. Go to somebody you don't know. Talk to somebody. You need help. You cannot handle this on your own. There's no way. Listen, I don't know how I made it this far. And the people would tell you, talk to God. Yes, talk to God, meditate, but you need to talk to somebody who has a license and that's a professional that can help you get over this hump. Yeah. See, you can heal, you can mend, but you'll never go back to being unbroken. That's a part of your life experience. And there are people who would try to take that experience from you. You can take your car. I can take your car. I can take your home. I can take your spouse. I can take a lot of things. But